Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the rundown. I apologize. I am not very exuberant self. I am waking up and Brian is getting off shift, so we are both very tired.
We're gonna call this the short tired boy stream because it's only gonna be a little 20-30 minute short
Yeah,
little July
yeah.
4th special episode.
Just kind of get shit out quick because we are recording on July 4th, even though this comes out the following Monday. Again, if you want to listen to this, you can do so in the you can do so by joining our Discord and stuff, blah 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 blah. So let's get into the week of things real quick, shall we? Um, to answer your question that you asked me,
Which
yeah,
question was that?
before we got started about like how I'm coping on the Biden shit, like
Yeah.
I need you to remember that I don't fucking like Biden either. I just
No, I
don't.
know.
I
I
just,
know.
I don't think it's a coincidence that like all that the media finally started covering 2025, Project 2025 in Spain, even though we've known about it for a fucking year at this point. Like in the
Really.
wake of in the wake of this shit. So, um, my thing is that like the reason why like did I know Biden was almost dirt? Sure. Did I think he was like incompetent to his job? No. Did were people were there three groups of people that were constantly yelling about it? Yes. Did I trust anything those motherfuckers said? Absolutely not, because the first group is right wing douchebags and they just want Biden to fucking lose anyway, so they're gonna make they have no issue lying about some bullshit. The second is like red fash campists, like people who like pretend that they're socialists but then will want to put the like all of the people they hate in camps, so they're not actual leftists and they just want to see the system burn, and like people who like put who like vote suffer. And the third are like, you know, middle of the road fetishists, like the types of people who are so desperate to consider themselves like center that both parties are the same, that they're willing to they're willing to equate, you know, a Biden faux pas with any of the bullshit Trump says, because they need to believe that they need to be like enlightened centrist type of shit. So I don't believe any. So all three of those groups like would
Well,
just. I just don't, so like, but here's the thing. Obviously,
just very quickly before
yeah.
you continue, I just want to respond just to the points you've already laid out. Nothing that I disagree with. I will even concede that especially seeing the results of a what do you call it? A very right of center slash very conservative Supreme Court. Will totally concede that obviously it's not both sides is on. I'm not saying that. I
I'm
think
not
my
saying you
whole
were.
no, no, no. I wasn't implying that you were talking about me at all. I'm just saying I feel bad for the people, especially like real liberals right now, who not even on people who watch MSNBC or CNN, just people in general that are genuinely now realizing the situation we're in. I'm like, yeah, yeah, guys, I feel you.
Yeah.
So I'm not even mad. I'm not even surprised. I knew it was going to be a fucking horrible thing. And it's ironic because Biden is the one who asked for this challenge.
I My thing is that I both Jill and Hunter Biden, his wife and his son, are telling him to keep going and stuff, which I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Because here's the thing, right? The only reason we're in this position right now is because of the DNC.
Yep.
If not the DNC explicitly, because they didn't know, the 20 motherfuckers that interacted with Biden on a day-to-day basis and knew the extent of how fucking bad it was
And
and
kept
didn't.
saying, oh,
And
he's so spry. He's so slick behind
exactly.
closed doors.
Exactly. So my thing is that I think and again, I know I apologize to everybody that we're doing politics this time around. Um
It's just because of the
it's
debate.
just
We
like
won't make it
the
a.
last week has been a behemoth, and like we got to talk about Biden, we have to talk about the Supreme Court ramifications. It's just
Jesus
so if
Christ.
politics ain't your bag this week, like ain't why you like watching us. I understand clicking off, but just stick around nonetheless. It's important to talk about.
Happy Independence Day, everybody.
Hey, so basically, my thing is that I can kind of like I'll just lay out like my thing with the Biden stuff, and I can just let me know how much you agree and all that or not, and we'll move on to the Supreme Court shit. Um, uh, ultimately, Biden needs to drop out. He's not going to.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Like the risk isn't people voting for Trump. That's not going to happen. Like every single solitary fucking human being in this country, except maybe a ditzy 18-year-old who doesn't know no better, is going to vote for who they've already decided to vote for. They knew if they voted in the last election, they already know. And if they've ever watched news at all and this is their first election, they already know who they're voting for. Like that's not the issue.
It's weird. I think what you're about to say just is this election is really going to be decided by like 30% of not only turnout, but like 30% undecided right now for whatever fucking reason.
No, I don't know. No, that's not what I'm saying. The undecided, it's not going to be undecided voters. Those undecided voters generally know what the fuck they're going to do. Like what? I don't know what slovenly, dead-brained sycophant doesn't like. If you don't already know at this point in the game who you're going to be voting for in your heart of hearts, you probably weren't going to go vote anyways. So I don't because that's the thing about electoralism, right? If you don't vote, nobody gives a fuck about what you have to say.
Yeah.
So the thing that's going to the problem with the debate is ultimately the same reason why so many like up down ballot Democrats were freaking the fuck out is because they accurately assigned that what is going to cause Democrats to lose this November isn't going to be a bunch of people deciding suddenly after this debate to go vote for Trump. It's going to be Democrats not showing up in general. Yeah. That's what's going to be the issue because ultimately, when Democrats don't show up, Republicans win.
Exactly. Both times that Trump has been in the election, it has been determined by turnout. The reason he won in 2016 was because turnout
nobody
was
showed
low.
The fuck up.
It was like less than 50% of the country, and then the reason
40.
That
it was 40%. It was less than 40.
And then the reason that Biden won was because so many people showed up, a lot of first-time voters, a lot of real hard liberals that didn't want to see, Trump again, but also people in the middle who were like, okay, we genuinely need like a pause.
Yeah.
Because this shit is crazy.
So ultimately, I think at the end of the day, here's why I think Biden should step down, right? It has nothing to do with, I think it genuinely has absolutely nothing to do with Biden himself. I think it ultimately has everything to do with an energized base. Because here's the thing, either you're going to vote for Trump or you're not. Them's the breaks. RFK statistically pulls more from the right wing anyways. Like he's not really a threat towards like Democratic majorities here. Like he is, if anybody's an issue, if anything's an issue, it's the fact it's Biden depressing voter turnout by people just being like, fuck it, I'll stay home. Like I not being, because the fear of Trump, I don't think is going to be enough to get people out a second time. People's lives are difficult now due to the economy that Trump built. Biden's policies have done a decent job mitigating the worst effects of it, but it's still not great. So it remains to be seen. I think ultimately, and this is the last thing I'll say on it before I get off my fucking soapbox and we'll move on to the Supreme Court shit, which I know you will be able to like rant and rave about too, because it's fucking bullshit.
That's crazy.
I think ultimately at the end of the day, I think Biden. I think if Biden steps down, what'll happen is that we have about a month and a half before the convention. It'll be balls to the wall coverage. Who's gonna step forward? Who's gonna throw their hat in the ring? And similar to how in the summer of 2016, where all the fucking news media covered was just Trump and his bullshit, the heightened like focus on the Democratic Party will push out any bullshit that Trump is doing, and as a result, will, I think, lead to people being if not more excited for the prospect, because there's going to be like not a crypt keeper in the White House, but more so, just it's in like the more recent memory. I think that month and a half of wall to wall coverage will do so much more to accelerate voter turnout than Biden taking his fast acting adrenochrome and bucking up for at every single speech and event going forward. So.
Yeah, because unless they got him hooked up on, PEDs, sorry, right? Yeah, performing
Enhancing drugs, yeah.
Yeah. I don't really see a lot of people being excited for him. But on to this.
Yes. So there's
mediocre.
There are three separate cases that I want to talk about in the ramifications, but let's talk about the I would say this is probably the most scandalous, not the most scandalous, of the one that's like on the surface of it scary.
And that means it's way more scarier the more you dig into it.
Yeah, I think the genuinely terrifying one is the one we're going to talk about last, which is the overturning of Chevron, and the ramifications of that is going to be wild. But let's get started with Biden can now, if he was the type of person to do so, could declare himself king.
No, literally. We could have a King Charles all over again.
And it's just like fucking Weekend at Bernie's.
He told y'all he'll be back. I mean, it's crazy. It's like Palpatine. This is... how do conservatives not have the longevity and the foresight to see that there may possibly one day be a highly charismatic, sociopathic Democrat who uses this to their advantage? And I know how unlikely it sounds right now, but it's like, it could happen. Could.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Democrats love following procedure. Republicans love winning.
That is literally it. I'll be so
like they make these decisions based on the assumption that they're just going to keep winning, that they're not going to lose.
Literally. And just to talk about this for a sec.
Go for it.
I mean, I realized this when Merrick Garland got skipped for the nomination on the Supreme Court. And they lied, and they pestered, and they said, "Oh no, we'll follow precedent if we're ever in the same situation." And you know what the fuck happened when they were in the same situation? Nothing. Yep. They allowed it.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. Because here's the thing, Democrats treat power, like treat the electorate as an inconvenient aspect.
They treat it
of power. They view it as a procedure. They view their voter base as a procedural aspect of gaining power. Republicans view their base as how they get into power, and there's a reason why even the most centrist of Republicans will still pay lip service to the frothing masses of vehement fascists in their party, because those are the motherfuckers that show up and get them elected.
Because they're on the Republican ticket, and that's the there lies the rub with all of this. But what now is classified as an official act of presidency, for presidency? Ugh,
So the way it worked is that you have three categories. You have core,
okay,
official, and unofficial. Core acts are things that are laid out explicitly in the Constitution.
got it.
So those are like completely covered. Official acts have been treated as having assumed innocence and good faith by courts in that regard. And unofficial acts don't have that assumption. So here's what I mean, right? If an official says this was I was doing this as part of an official act, courts will by default assume that and start from the position that it was done as an official act, and then it puts the prosecution on the back foot to have to disprove that. See,
And the real question
and that
is,
is
since
already
there's
on top of how difficult it already is to nail a president for any act whatsoever. And there was
Because you
no
also need like 2/3 of Congress or a higher
I'm
majority
not even
than that.
talking about impeachment. I'm just
No, no, no,
talking about
neither am I.
someone bringing a criminal case in court.
It's insanity. And this completely, I mean, this is what I was saying. I don't know if I was saying it, but uh, I heard, maybe I heard it. I think I was saying it though. That Merrick Garland, Attorney General right now, I said, hold off on the Georgia fraud case for finding more, votes for him in the 2020 election. Part of the reason why he first got indicted for the Stormy Daniels stuff, because they all try to tie it together, you know. And he said to push it off until after the election. This is why they shouldn't have done it. Fuck the New York case with Stormy Daniels. Why didn't y'all do this one? This was the one y'all should have did, and y'all fumbled it. Not saying it took him off the ballot. Maybe it even made him stronger. But I'm just saying that was at least a federal case at a time when Democrats have also a majority in everything.
They
Not
already.
everything, but
Oh, here's the thing, right? Like Trump has his sentencing for the for the fraud in 7 days.
yeah,
He gets sentenced on the 11th. The judge in that case has complete jurisprudence and authority to send his ass to prison. That, which is what I call the big funny. Because
yeah, but we both know it's not gonna happen because it's a first-time offense. This whole thing, the whole fucking bullshit.
it is, but he also has 34 of them, which is not an insignificant, which is not like an amount of felonies that would get an average would allow an average person to get paroled.
There's already fuck shit going on. We both know Trump ain't going to jail. We both want it. We both want it for different reasons.
What
But
would probably end up happening is that like I think it would be funny as shit. I don't think it would be productive. I don't think it would make people want to vote for him any less. I don't think it would make people want to vote for him anymore. I don't think it would tip the scales whatsoever. You might get a handful of independents who are like, yeah, all right, fine, maybe I'll do Biden. But then again, those people are like slovenly morons anyways at this point. For like, if you're saying that was the final straw for you
yeah.
to go
Now
vote
he's
for
in jail.
Biden,
I gotta
really?
go vote for
That
Biden.
that was the final straw for you. Okay, dude, sure. Like go back to your breakfast table at Cracker Barrel and eat your sausage gravy biscuits with no silverware and just enjoy yourself.
This
So
is
so like and I want to be very clear to everybody that when I say that I am not being mean to I am not being mean or stereotypical towards like rural white folks. I am a rural I am a hick. I am of hick lineage.
look at him. Who are we kidding?
But what I am saying, is I'm making fun of morons. Because, like, are you really about to tell me that a person that, like, just to flip it and put on Biden, are you really telling me that if Biden got arrested, and then like if Biden got like impeached or some shit, and like somebody was like, okay, that's the final straw, I guess, and then decides to go vote for Trump instead, you think that, like, you really think that after everything that you perceive Biden has done so far, that, like, that being the final straw is like, really, fuck you, come on, dude, like, that, just to go into your fantasy realm for a little bit. But moving on to the next Supreme Court case, because this is going to be quick, not really much discussion other than of how fucking objectively awful it is. The Supreme Court has now opened the door for municipalities all over this great country to send people to prison for being homeless. It is no coincidence that the places that do send people to prison for being homeless and try to do that just so happen to also be municipalities with a large swath of private prisons that, by the way, make a lot of things and provide a lot of tax revenue without having to pay anywhere near as much in wages. Remember, folks, slavery is legal in this country so long as you did a crime first.
So long as you're caught in prison.
Yep. So, having homeless be a crime with the increasing. Yeah, private prisons are basically our country's solution. Like, private prisons and prisons are just our country's solution to the housing crisis. They say, if you can't afford to have a home and you can't afford to live and you end up on the street, go work.
You deserve to be in prison.
Go make Gucci bags in the private prison. Get fucked.
Literally.
Yeah, so that's
independence.
Yay. Yeah. And we're moving on to the last one. This is the most technical one, but this is the one that I think is going to have the most impact for the most accelerating effect on the shitification of America, and that is the overturning of Chevron. For those who are unaware, the Chevron was a case in the 1970s that basically said, hey, Congress makes these vague-ass laws, and the agencies that are due to enforce these laws are filled with people that know what the fuck they're talking about.
People who are non-elected.
Yep, people who have spent their entire lives studying these fields or have been around this field. They know what the fuck they're talking about. I just saw a senator the other day talking to Mark Zuckerberg. The other month, talking to Mark Zuckerberg, asking him what Wi-Fi was. So I'm pretty sure that person probably shouldn't be in charge of determining which animals should and shouldn't be on the endangered list. That should probably be done by a biologist.
It should also be said that somebody who has the logistical understanding of how the sausage is made and how the system actually works should not have to put the resources and time, the precious resources and time, into getting elected, because that's what this law does now, right?
No, it's a Supreme Court ruling. It's worse. It's worse.
Not law. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What it does is, so this is used in conjunction with the fourth one, which was just it made it so you can legally bribe people so long as you do it after the fact, and they didn't know it was going to happen. So basically, making it so motherfuckers like Clarence Thomas can, is in the clear. So essentially, what this law did is that it took the beforehand in regards to regulations and things of that nature. Agencies would be in charge, the courts would defer to the expertise of agencies in cases. So if the if the if like you were going against, say, the EPA, and you're and like a refinery wanted to dump shit straight into the local water system, and the EPA was like, no, you can't do that, and the courts would the justification that the courts would the justification that the EPA would give the court would be presumed as like good, true, like the same like assumption of like virtue and all that, and it would be generally very difficult for the refinery to sort of justify dumping their slop into the local river. What happens now is that the judiciary is in charge of making those calls, not the agencies. So if the agency comes forth and says, hey, you shouldn't do this because of X, Y, and Z, and then the refinery says, no, I can't do it because it doesn't do any of the things you're talking about, and also because of this other Supreme Court case, which allows us to like bribe officials legally. We've had this before. Like we had this before a judge that we've had other work before, and we have given gifts to after favorable Supreme Court cases. The judge then can sit up and then say, I believe the company.
Literally.
I don't see it. Yeah. So
Crazy.
So essentially, judges are now who again, remember, the reason why Chevron existed was ruled on in the first place is because the courts didn't feel like they had the expertise to be able to rule on these things correctly all the time, so they deferred it to they allowed these. Now here's the thing: all of the people saying that this is a great thing are happy because of for exactly two reasons. BLM, Bureau of Land Management, in the ATF, specifically the ATF. All of the fucking right-wing rubes are excited about this being done away with because now it's taken so much power away from the ATF, and it's going to make it easier for them to get like firearms, like automatic weapons, trade things around. Like it basically is that, but because they are, again, only thinking about themselves and not like the ramifications, we could just start having they could start just putting borax in our meat again, and like Tyson could just start putting borax in chicken nuggets,
and until the Supreme Court says that the FDA has the right to sue them or whatever, it could just keep going, and God knows how long that court case could happen. No, I hear you.
Correct. Yeah. So that is that. I think, like, don't get me wrong. Ultimately, the president being a king for 4 years is crazy as shit, and ultimately, like, them staying in past their elected date is still. Thankfully, them staying in past their elected date is not a thing, thanks to how the Constitution works, because of the core responsibilities aspect of it. Them trying to stay in past that date would effectively be without being elected, would effectively be they would automatically lose power. It doesn't matter how much they want to, but like when you have, but it's just, yeah, we're in hell. We are in hell.
Welcome to unprecedented times.
Yay, unprecedented times. Yippee.
Why can't it be good unprecedented times like we solved world hunger or we solved homelessness? Like that would be
human race has made enough food. The human
time.
race has made enough food year, like day on day, year on year, since 2012 to stop world hunger.
No, I know.
We've long since hit that margin.
Do it.
Yeah, no, there's no profit in that.
Oh, I know. I'm not an idiot. I don't sit at Cracker Barrel. But
on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of today's episode. We again, sorry for all the politics. I know we normally will, bum around about some other stuff. There in fact was some cool shit that happened this week. Just
Real quick, check out the Steam Summer Sale. That shit is going on.
you,
Elden Ring is like $42, which is pretty good.
I mean,
Not bad.
listen, even if you don't want to get the DLC, go get the base game. It's still a wonderful experience to play for the first time.
I may.
It's one of those things where it's like you don't need to get the Game of the Year edition. You can go play it exactly as you want. You don't need it right off bat. But
Heard that.
Also, so the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League's numbers are in the low hundreds. It is not doing well.
Damn, that shit is always on sale.
And polyamory is coming to The Sims 4 along with a giant dating expansion.
Boom, there you go.
Just go download Wicked Whims instead. You can make your swim twerk and have a fat ass.
Crazy.
And have sex. So
And
it is what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for watching. If you want to join our community and support the show by joining our community, you can do so at himedia.gg/discord. We record on our Discord. We didn't today just because I wasn't about to do it everyone at 9 o'clock in the goddamn morning. But normally you'll be able to listen into us record during that. So please come hang out.
Sit in the chat, interact, hit us up.
Whole 9 yards. And otherwise, give me money at himedia.gg/tip. I am very poor. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, your time, and your listenership. Thank you, Brian. My illustrious co-host. What's up?
Follow me, guys, on Instagram at
I almost forgot.
Brian.
Yeah, follow him on Instagram at instagram.com/no.2_Brian. Also, I believe Brian's YouTube channel is in the description, so go check that out.
Now, give my boy money. Give him money.
I'm very poor. Have a good one, everybody.